What makes you think that you aren't intelligent? Frequent memory loss, mental reset, makes it quite difficult to retain any form of information. Might as well keep quiet and stay out of the way unless instructed otherwise. Do you suffer from depression, by chance? I only ask because before I started taking antidepressants I literally felt like I couldn't think. My brain was cotton-filled or foggy a lot, and some things just wouldn't sink in. It's a side effect of depression that not a lot of people mention. It is difficult to think. It's good to know I'm not the only one like this. I went from gifted child to foggy, unmotivated adult. I always thought I was intelligent. Then I went to college and met truly intelligent people. I realized my intelligence is average at best. You are still above average to the general population though. University is a huge hit to the ego in that sense. Happened to me, as I was known and always told how intelligent I am. It becomes your identity. Then all of a sudden you're questioning who you actually are. Happened to me too. Was always praised as being smart by family, teachers, friends, etc. I guess I didn't have other good traits to compliment, and I based a lot of my self-esteem and identity around performance in school and maintaining a smart person image. Having informed opinions about politics and history, reading science fiction, playing music, working with computers, etc. Junior year of college, I essentially had a nervous breakdown. I became really depressed and ended up failing multiple classes in a single semester. Since I had coupled my identity to performance in school and my image as smart, my self-esteem crashed alongside my grades. I felt like a complete fraud and isolated myself from friends and family out of shame. I thought being smart was my only redeeming trait and that people wouldn't like me otherwise. So I hid from the world because I couldn't accept people rejecting me as a flunky who was wasting his parents' money. They paid for college and housing. Ended up graduating and getting a good job. But junior year and the aftermath were really shitty. Went through something similar. College can be a massive slap in the face to gifted students who have always been told how smart they are. I don't think I'd ever actually failed a class before college. Still, at least you can try again if you fail a class. Once I stopped focusing on my grades so much and started focusing on the actual material I did better. I'll give you one for both. Trivia makes me feel like I'm pretty smart, but doing day-to-day things like trying to cook, doing any kind of handiwork, or other adult things like taxes make me feel pretty stupid. Basically, if it's something that isn't going to help me in life, I know it. You aren't stupid, you're just inexperienced. I know way too much random information, like I can categorize different clouds in the sky and predict the weather for the rest of the day. I know a lot weird culinary historical facts and crazy memory recall for music. But when I'm speaking I forget certain words. Like I know the meaning I'm trying to get across but the actual word just blanks out of mind. And my attention span is just the worst. I'll be in the middle of explaining something and my mind takes a left. I'll start to ramble and will eventually forget what I started talking about. I have bilingual friends who forget what the word is in English even though it's their first language. Honestly gives me more respect for them because they know the concept they're trying to convey, but can't get it across quite right because their brain got stuck at the translation station. Yes, my friend is Chinese Venezuelan who moved to NYC at 10. If she suddenly stops talking I know it's because her huge robot brain is searching through like 3 languages and 4 dialects for the right word usage. I think I am just smart enough to know there are many things I will never understand. Education is the gradual realization of ignorance. The amount of people that don't know how to properly use their makes me think I'm at rock bottom, not a complete dumbass. Of when people mess up breath, or write clothes as cloths, or when they type of instead of or. My shit grades and shittier ability to retain information doesn't necessarily mean you're dumb. A lot of intelligent people fail and don't retain information because they don't give a fuck about what is being taught. There really isn't any metric by which I could be considered intelligent. I'm looking for a job, and if the prospective employer requires me to do logic testing, I'm toast. Math, no problem. Monsieur, grammar and spelling, 100%. Asterisk, but I don't know what number comes next in the sequence. Asterisk, isn't math grounded in logic? What makes it different for you? All but the highest levels of math works according to known formulas. Logic tests work by making you figure out an unknown formula. They both use logic, but require different skill sets. I can't multiply mentally or physically. Math grades are terrible. I just don't get it at all no matter how hard I study. I can't remember formulas or numbers. I do good in everything else, but anything with numbers, nope. You know the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you should find another room. I can't seem to find the right room, monsieur. Legit not trying to brag here. It's not that there are no rooms with smarter people than me in the monsieur, it's just that I can't get into any of them, because I have to stay in the dumb rooms to keep making money and not spending so much that I run out. Oh, okay. I don't dislike you anymore. Now I relate to you. An IQ test. Don't worry, man, they don't matter. You're not as dumb as you think. How do you know he didn't get a high score? Because he's relying on IQ test. Touché. People who talk about their IQ are dumb. Stephen Hawking. People who can walk are dumb. Probably Stephen Hawking. I can swallow a lot of information, but it's all undigested. It's like pouring water through a sieve. Everything goes in and comes out at alarming speeds. It's partially why I stopped reading voraciously. On that note, binging Reddit threads is equally pointless for me. I rarely retain anything useful, because I are intelligent. I tried to walk knowing my legs were fully asleep. I fell and it hurt. What makes me think I'm smart? That most people are amazed by ability to remember intricate details about subjects that interest me. And I get compliments for picking up new information quickly. I realized this for myself a few times when I was interested in a new hobby, such as photography. I'd do a couple weeks of intense study so that I could understand what I should buy to get started. I then asked my friends, such as photographers, for advice about things I wanted to clarify, and they'd admit that they had no idea. I was already studying beyond them and I barely started. What makes me think I'm not smart? That I get simple things wrong. Basic things can confuse me that seem trivial to most others. Absent-mindedness. Negative sense of self also has an impact here. I can relate to this. Give me a hobby I find fun and I can consume and retain it very quickly. I can then compound it to other hobbies I have to further enhance it. Everyone seems to figure out things so easily. I can remember when I had 8th grade I'd take longer to get things right than other kids. Any type of math was a nightmare. I can understand it given the time and patience, but that was rare in class. The worst part is they'd send you to the chalkboard with 3 to 4 other kids and give everyone a separate problem. Monsieur, my back was on fire always. Growing up, it felt like I always needed to read instructions 2 to 3 times over. What sucks is when someone else seems to get it instantly, or have some innate ability. People often tend to ask for my help about literally anything they don't know and assume that I must know it. A surprise for me is that I often don't have a clear answer, but I'm able to just logic. Using logic, for lack of a better word, it out in a way that normally makes sense and is correct. Also, I always make it very clear that I'm unsure of the answer I'm giving so people can't blame me. The few times what I said made no sense at all. Maybe I'm not smart though. Maybe I'm just in the wrong environment. Peace. Obligatory English is not my first language. I'm the kind of person who is smart in some stuff but totally a retard in others. In IQ tests I usually score very high and I am very good at creative work. but I have a hard time socializing and understanding people's feelings. Could be a mild form of autism? No, I have been tested. I'm just an emotional retard, lol. A lot of smart people have difficulty relating to others. Why the suicide rate among really brilliant people is so high. And feelings aren't logical, lol. So if you're a logical person, I can see having trouble understanding. My ritual of waiting until something is due in an hour. Rushing it down, only to find out there's something more. And I just don't do the other thing. Rinse and repeat for my entire 17 years of life. My mother makes me think I'm not intelligent, LMAO. Well then fuck her. I am sure you're significantly smarter than you think. A parent just telling their child they are smart from a young age, whether they show any outstanding intelligence or not, can make an unbelievable difference. Literally something as simple as that. Making your kid feel stupid is one of the most destructive things a parent can do. Don't listen to her up. Wow, thank you man, smiley face. I try not to listen to her, but the constant badgering makes it hard. Getting flustered over minimally complex tasks. It's not that getting flustered is a quality of less intelligent people. But when I am trying to do something and just can't figure it out and I get flustered and stressed, and that just makes it harder, I definitely feel like an idiot. According to all my teachers, I am exceptionally good at foreign languages. Meanwhile, I see my friends in school really struggling with grammar stuff that I find super simple and easy. I'm also pretty good at math, I'd say. What I suck at is physics. That stuff makes me feel dumb ASF. And no, it's not the mathematical side of it that I'm having trouble with, but the theory of it all. You could also describe me as practically dumb, because that's exactly what I am when it comes to improvising and doing stuff in real life. I'm only smart academically, except at physics. No, that means that you are walking hard drive and have little logical reasoning. Knowledge of math doesn't mean that you are good at math. It simply means that you are capable of remembering decent amount of strict rules. Physics is about logical reasoning and applying remembered rules. There you have it. That's how I'm dumb. But at least I have my languages. Your memory capabilities will greatly benefit you in the future, when you will have lots of experience at your job. In fact, it is the best to be that way. I wish I could have such a great memory. That flat earthers exist. I keep switching manual labor positions thinking the job is easier, just to realize I'm moving heavy shit different way. Finally came to that realization. Now looking into online courses so I can get a desk job. I rely to fucking logic and science instead of stupid Karens and their essential oils. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get a sentence out because I talk really fast or I stutter and forget what I'm saying. This morning I had a glass of milk in one hand and my phone in the other. Without realizing, I put my phone on the table and tossed the glass into the couch. I'm inept at learning. If I don't already know something, I am extremely slow to pick up on it and often panic when I'm made to reproduce what I've supposedly learned, because I usually quite simply can't. Coupled with major problems with my muscle memory and visual processing, it's a big part of why I have no productive hobbies or interests, and is probably the single biggest source of my depression. I tried picking up drawing, for instance, but even after a couple of months of doing the draw a box exercises, nothing really set in. I made next to no progress whatsoever, and I felt that it was getting more difficult rather than less, while also being completely unenjoyable. I feel like I have more emotional intelligence than I do book smarts. I'm on the artistic creative side while my husband is more pragmatic and cerebral. I've always wanted a better grasp on math and science, and he does try to walk me through various scientific subjects to help me understand better. Sometimes listening to him talk about these things makes me feel really dumb, because I guess my brain just really is wired that way. I just don't know how it seems to come so easily to some, while others really struggle even when They really try. I was always afraid to raise my hand in math or science classes for fear of embarrassment. Asking the teacher for help was hard for me because sometimes they would either lose patience or accuse me of not paying attention. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.